Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial from Tech Without Fear. In this tutorial we'll be teaching you how to keyframe. Keyframing is very important as there are different animations that you can add to objects and text that you encounter, and it's essential for any part of video making. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create something that we want to keyframe. So we're going to right click our composition, click new, and then we're just going to click text. Text is really simple for now and we can adhere to that. So what you want to do is you want to type something in like hello. So now you have this little box that says hello and you can move it around. So one thing you want to do first before we start anything is you want to open this text and you want to go to more options and you want to make sure that the anchor point grouping is by the word. So instead of all the effects being applied to letters, it's applied to the word. Next thing we can do is we can click animate, and this will give us different sorts of animating we can do. So I'm going to show you a couple today, and the easiest one is position. So once we see that we have animator 1 down here, so we can click it and it will give us our animation. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to click the stopwatch for where you want it to start. And we'll have it start over here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move our timer over. And at this time we're going to have the object placed over here. Then we want to move our timer over. And then we're going to have our object placed over down in the center. So if we go to view that, we can see the object following a path. Now you'll see that this path is followed right down at this anchor point. So when it goes through, it keeps the anchor point where you'd want it to be. Next thing we could do is we can click animate again and we can add scale. So let's say you're over here and by the time it goes to the middle you want it to get a little bigger. So you can just get to this keyframe, click on scale, then when it gets here you can just make the scale bigger. So you're gonna see that once it gets to this point right here, it's gonna start growing. So now your animation is gonna look like this. See how it gets bigger? Another thing you can do, final thing, is opacity. So let's say you want it to be invisible when it's over here. So you want to click the stopwatch and you want to move it over to here. And then by the time it gets here, it's at 100% opacity. So what you're going to see is it's going to fade in, it's going to come and get big. And then this animation works really nicely. What's good about keyframes is that you can move them over individually. So let's say I think that everything's taking too long. So I can just select my keyframes right here and drag them over. And now every animation will be done within 4 seconds. See now that it's much faster. And another thing you can do is when you go into the alignments, you can kind of change the options. So if you go by character, you'll see that there's the little anchor points around the characters. So you see how the characters get bigger, and that's not what we're looking for. But if you're willing to set it up like that, you can also change it. You can also change the movement of where the anchor points are if you don't feel that it's to your liking. And another couple tips you can use is you can have the anchor point move around, and you can keyframe everything. So all the basic keyframes can be messed around in this transform section. It's just when you want to animate something a little more, you can go ahead with this. So we're gonna move this back to Word, and any more animations we can also get the blur animation. So here there's no blur, and then in 6 seconds we can have a very strong, we can have a blur out. And so we want to click stopwatch over here, and then for here we want to go back to 100%. Not 100, we want to go back to 0%, which means no blur. And as you can see, the text moves around, gets bigger, and then it blurs out. And so you can see we use a little bit of keyframing in our intro too. And this is very important because whether you're filming a movie, a video, if you want everything fading to black or fading out from black, you can use these keyframes to help. And text is not the only thing you can use. You can also edit the solids, and you can also mess around with lighting and everything. So keyframing is an essential part of video making, and we hope you enjoyed and learned something from this video.